You've been told black holes can grow forever. That's the lie. There's a ceiling, a number so absurd it sounds invented, 50 billion suns folded into a single point, and even that might be optimistic. Somewhere out past the edge of what physics is comfortable admitting, there is a mass that black holes are not supposed to exceed, not because nothing can feed them anymore, because feeding them breaks the thing doing the feeding, and the universe already built one that's bigger anyway. Welcome back to Weird Orbit. Stay with this one. By the end, the scariest part won't be the size. It'll be what the limit implies about the thing wearing it. Picture it first the way it deserves to be pictured, before you understand what it costs. A supermassive black hole doesn't grow in silence. It grows wearing a disk, a whirlpool of infalling gas millions of degrees hot, spiraling down through gravity's drain at a meaningful fraction of the speed of light. Friction cooks that gas into light. Real, blinding, continuous light. This is a quasar, the accretion disk of a growing black hole, and for a while, the single brightest sustained object in the observable universe. Brighter than every star in its host galaxy combined. Brighter, arguably, than anything that isn't an explosion. You could see one of these things from across the universe. In fact, you have. Every time you've seen an image of a quasar, you were looking at starlight being murdered gracefully, converted into radiance on its way into oblivion. It is, by any honest measure, gorgeous. 100 billion stars worth of gravity, feeding, glowing, singing across the electromagnetic spectrum in colors your eyes can't process fast enough. Now watch what happens when you ask this machine to keep going, because it wants to. It just can't. Here's the part that turns the beauty inside out. The light is the problem. Every photon that escapes that accretion disk carries momentum. Multiply that by the sheer volume of light a growing supermassive black hole throws off, and you get pressure, outward radiation pressure, pushing back against the infalling gas trying to feed the very furnace producing that light. This is the same physics behind the Eddington limit, a boundary discovered by astrophysicist Arthur Eddington that describes the point where an object's own luminosity generates enough outward push to counteract the gravity pulling material inward. A black hole feeding at the theoretical maximum, the Eddington rate, is a machine perpetually trying to choke on its own bright. Feed it faster, and the light pressure blows the fuel away before it ever reaches the horizon. The black hole isn't limited by hunger. It's limited by how blinding it's allowed to become before its own glow slams the door in gravity's face. Now scale that problem up. As the black hole grows, its feeding disk grows with it, and at some staggering mass, the disk itself stops behaving. It becomes so vast, so cold at its outer edges, that gravity can no longer hold it together as a smooth, orderly spiral. It fractures. It fragments into clumps dense enough to collapse under their own weight, and those clumps do something almost insulting to the black hole they're supposed to be feeding. They form stars. The disk designed to feed the monster starts building its own solar systems instead, and every star it forms is fuel the black hole will never touch again. This is called accretion disk instability, and it's the mechanism a team of astrophysicists, Priyamvada Natarajan and Ezequiel Treister, used in 2009 to calculate something unnerving, an actual upper mass limit for black holes, derived not from imagination, but from the physics of the disk that feed them. Their number, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 billion solar masses, with some models extending the ceiling toward 50 billion, depending on spin, feeding rate, and the geometry of the surrounding disk. Beyond that threshold, the math gets brutal. The disk becomes gravitationally unstable at radii close enough to matter, fragmenting into stars faster than gas can spiral inward. The black hole, in effect, starves itself of its own future meals by being too large to be fed efficiently. Sit with the shape of that. This isn't a limit imposed from outside, no cosmic regulator stepping in to say enough. It's a limit the black hole imposes on itself, built into the geometry of consumption. The bigger it gets, the worse it gets at eating. Growth generates the exact conditions that end growth. It's less a wall and more a trap that only closes from the inside. And this is where the story should end tidily. A hard ceiling, clean number, a universe that plays by its own rules, except something already broke through it. 10 billion light years away sits a quasar called Ton 618. Its black hole has been estimated, through measurements of the gas velocities whipping around it, at somewhere around 66 billion solar masses, a number that doesn't just approach the theoretical ceiling, it walks straight through it and keeps going. For context that your mind will resist and should, that is heavier than every star in the Milky Way combined, several times over. If you tried to picture it as as a sphere with the density of water. Its diameter would rival the distance between our Sun and Neptune. Its event horizon alone, the point of absolute no return, would swallow our entire solar system out past the orbit of Pluto and still have room left. And it exists in an era of the universe, roughly 10 billion years past, meaning it built that mass in a rule etched into the operating system of reality. But the 50 billion solar mass ceiling isn't that kind of law. It's a statistical tendency dressed up as a boundary, a description of what happens under the feeding conditions we've modeled, not a hard stop the universe enforces. Ton 618 isn't breaking physics. It's revealing that our model of the physics was incomplete, that under the right violent, chaotic, statistically rare condition, a black hole can outrun the very mechanism that's supposed to choke it, which means the 50 billion number was never really a ceiling. It was a description of the easy path, the path most black holes take because starving is the statistically likely outcome of getting that large. Ton 618 found the hard path, the narrow, violent, rule-breaking path that most black holes never survive intact. And if one did it, the unsettling question isn't how did it happen? It's how many others are out there right now, quietly having done the same thing, too far away and too dim in the wrong wavelengths for us to have found yet. We built a number to make ourselves feel like the universe had an edge. The universe just hasn't shown us all its exceptions yet. Step back from the equations for a moment and just feel the size of it. 66 billion sun, not 66 billion kilometer, not 66 billion years, 66 billion entire stars worth of matter, compressed past any structure, past any surface, past any meaning the word object usually carries, into a singularity that light itself cannot climb out of. Human minds are not built for numbers like this. They're built for herd sizes, tribe counts, the number of footsteps to the next fire. Every time you try to actually picture 66 billion of anything, your imagination quietly substitutes a much smaller number and hopes you don't notice. That failure, that inability to genuinely hold the scale in your mind, is not a flaw in you. It's a signal. It's your brain telling you honestly that you have wandered into a part of reality it was never evolved to comprehend. And the black hole doesn't care that you can't picture it. It doesn't care that it's borrowed matter from thousands of dead galaxies to become what it is. It sits there, silently reshaping spacetime for light years in every direction, indifferent to the fact that an entire species 8,000 light years away once tried for 20 minutes to understand it. That indifference is the real horror, not that it could hurt you, that it doesn't even register you exist to be hurt. So where does that leave the number? 50 billion solar masses, a ceiling built from real physics, describing a real self-limiting mechanism, and already exceeded by something we can point a telescope at. Maybe that's the actual lesson hiding under the astrophysics. Every limit we calculate is really a limit of our current model, a snapshot of how far our understanding reaches before reality shows us a case we hadn't accounted for. We drew a line in the sand called 50 billion, the universe, 10 billion years ago, in total silence, without knowing or caring that we'd ever draw it. Step past it by another 16 billion suns and kept doing whatever it was doing. There's something almost merciful in that if you squint. A universe that refuses to be fully mapped is a universe that still has room in it for genuine surprise, for things bigger, stranger, and older than the categories we've built to contain them. And there's something merciless in it too, because the same refusal to be mapped means that whatever comes after ton 618, whatever quietly broke its limit, somewhere even further out, hidden in light too old and too faint for us to have caught yet, is already out there, growing, indifferent, waiting for someone to point a telescope in exactly the right direction and finally notice. We didn't find the biggest thing the universe can build. We found the biggest thing we've built the equipment to see. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.